What company or brand did you love until they betrayed your trust? Kellogg's dang Fruit Loops all taste the same. They're all cereal boxes, cursed. That's why I stopped eating them 2 decades ago, lol. Apple, where do they get off saying Microsoft is evil when they are getting sued for being a monopoly? Whenever something breaks, sometimes even their fault, they try to convince you that you were using it wrong, i.e. AntennaGate and their battery fiasco. Blizzard. And yes, I do have a phone. Really looking forward to not playing it with you. There's always Path of Exile to play. But can you play it on a phone? Came here to say Blizzard. I'm still mad about what they did. I've been following them as a fan, but also as an investor. Interesting company for sure, with the dual structure. They had quality at Blizzard and quantity at Advi. Now they're compromising their quality games division. Acme. I was told that their anvils were the best in the business for catching roadrunners, but it has failed me time and time again. 10. Never again will I buy. Ajax all the way, although I got to give this to M. Here. Uber, the CEO scandal made me switch to Lyft. I'm unfamiliar with the scandal. What happened? I never even bothered to touch Uber. I have only ever used Lyft. If only they had meal delivery as well. 100% agreeing with the Lyft love and Uber spite. Heinz ketchup. For years it was Heinz, there are no other kinds. We would only buy and eat Heinz ketchup. For 40 years. This was passed through 3 generations of our family. When they closed their Canadian plant and stopped using Canadian tomatoes, I never bought it again. We now only eat French's as they are 100% Canadian tomatoes. I feel like this is a meme, but I don't know why. EpiPen, Mylan. I need them to live, and they know it. The medication and injectors costs pennies to produce, but they charge hundreds of dollars. Evil company. Vans shoes. Years ago, maybe 4 or 5, I got some, because I remembered they were sturdy shoes. I got the classic Vans skate shoes, because they would survive months of skateboarding, before they drip break. The new pair, I got a good sized hole after a handful of Ali's kickflips. What pair did you get? I've purchased dozens of Vans shoes over the years and they're all in great condition today, even though I beat them to death. I think they were the ones in the link. I don't exactly remember, it's been years. That's wild. The old schools are probably my favorite silhouette for daily wear. I've had a pair for over a year and they're in perfect condition. Then again, I don't really skate too often. Same. In high school 5 to 6 years ago I got a new pair. Sole came off after the first time wearing them. I'm not even a skateboarder. Just wore them around. Never bought another pair. Craftsman. Their tool quality went down, and they wouldn't honor their lifetime guarantee on wrench I had for 5 years that broke. Yeah, I used to love Craftsman. My dad has had a ton of Craftsman tools for decades. Was pretty disappointed when I bought a huge set, and the case broke after I opened it a few times. Switched to Husky for the basics and Snap-on for the good stuff, and never looked back. Craftsman still has the warranty. Not sure why they wouldn't honor it. I have exchanged Craftsman ratchets and screwdrivers that I bought from Sears years ago at Lowe's. Craftsman is just a brand now, not a company. Long time back I thought the world of Craftsman. I became a mechanic and couldn't afford Snap-on and Mac. I bought Craftsman and Husky. Total agreement that the quality of Craftsman declined to the point where I avoid the brand name. Cadbury used to be amazing, but after it was brought by Mondelez it hasn't been the same. They changed the recipes and started packing it with palm oil, so now it's just disgusting both in a taste and ethical sense. A couple gaming companies, but maybe recently BioWare. I miss Kotor and Mass Effect, and regrettably got Anthem, because my girlfriend and another friend were excited about it, plus my GF, and I game shares bucks. I figured I'd get the flashy version, since money wasn't an issue, and it sounded like they'd stick to this game for a while. Biggest letdown ever. A few days prior to launch, heard the story would be split in chapters and released later, which made me sad, and I got a shotgun that shot at 90-degree angles. And they ghosted the community. So many companies are just falling from the thrones they used to sit on, all thanks to greedy business plans. VW used to own a diesel. My dad works for them, and even he won't buy their cars. While I love my VW, my So has the diesel TDI and it's currently at the dealership because some filter thing that thief spent 4 days trying to fix with no resolution, and apparently it's a common issue with them, so I understand where you're coming from. Bethesda. Fallout 76 nylon bag. Sega. So many abandoned consoles. They are kinda walking the road to redemption ATM. They are releasing PC versions of the Yakuza series like hot bread. I read an article where top bosses said it's their plan for the future is to bring back old Sega titles and develop new ones. It seems unfair to criticize them for moving on from failed consoles. They tried, but they couldn't reasonably keep pouring money into failed consoles without losing their business completely. True, but the 32X wasn't as bad a system as people thought, and it had potential. Sega just rushed too many games for the holiday season and pulled the plug on it too early. Same with the Saturn. It was still going strong, especially in Japan, but it was prematurely ended due to the Dreamcast, which may have been a more successful system had Sega waited and refined it to make it more competitive with the PS2. Amazon Prime until they cancelled the tick a few hours ago. Most charities. Turns out that just handing out free stuff will very effectively ruin the economy in a country. I only give to those that give emergency aid in case of natural disasters and organization that give out macro loans. Economy. I will never forget the games I played with them until pachinko was a route they decided to go down. My first ever economy game was the UGR1 for the Gamma Boy. I'm fairly certain they've always been making pachinko alongside when they were making games. Nike. They just had to get involved in identity politics. Blizzard. Disgusting treatment of their employees. Lax attitude towards supporting existing IPs yet fail to produce new contently regularly. Tencent owns a controlling share. DOYOUGUS not have iPhone Northeast S. Tencent owns a controlling share. Tencent owns less than a 5% stake. Their latest 13 GAs here they aren't listed in the beneficial ownership table. Oh, so you are correct. For some reason it had gotten into my head that they had a 25% share. From a business standpoint I get it. Tencent is making money hand over fist in Asia in the mobile market in general, far more than Blizzard makes in the West. They'd be insane to ignore that demographic. As an old school gamer yeah it's disappointing, but in the real world the mobile market is where you have to be to make money these days. VW. Used to great cars now they're the IKEA of cars. Just enough quality to get by. I always used Head and Shoulders shampoo until I realized they did tests on animals. Wait, how does testing shampoo on animals hurt them? They're just jet in a bath, right? Some tests can cause them severe skin problems, and test animals are kept at horrible conditions. Not really, they test the product on them to see if they have a reaction to the chemicals or not, and if it's safe for humans to use. It's quite abusive actually. They drip it into their eyes to check if it might hurt human eyes in the shower. Rockstar is a great storytelling game company. I do not support their online efforts. I tried to give them another chance with RDR2's online. It's been underwhelming at best. Haven't they just fixed the online? Mostly. Still no private server options. They have a PvE flag system, but you can still get kicked from what I understand. I still waiting for free aim lobbies. All things JJ Abrams. See Lost. Honestly, it's Tim Hortons, and so many Canadians have to agree. Back a few years ago, they had really good stuff, like the old bottled iced tea, better sandwiches, different pastries and more types of donuts. Now it seems like they are just there 100% for the money now, before they actually cared about what customers want, and now it feels like the opposite. Illumination after I realized how manipulative and soulless they were. Ms. Vicky's. I mean, I still really love their chips. One time I called the number on the bag to tell them how much I love their chips, and it just rang endlessly. It was disappointing. Now when I eat their lovely chips I'm a little bit disappointed each time. Can I? I consider him a brand. I liked EA until I learned about their evil deeds. Peter, I used to be a big fan until I got old enough to know the truth. Now I'd like to see everyone who knows what they do and supports them put down like they do healthy animals. EA, not much more needs to be said, but then again this trust predates before loot boxes. Microsoft with Halo 5, Bungie didn't have anything to do with it. Bungie had nothing to do with Halo 5. I used to buy every Metroid game day one, but I haven't bought a single video game at all since Other M. Electronic Arts, BioWare, Bethesda, Activision. I used to love Call of Duty, but now I hate the company for monetizing one of my favorite game franchises so much. Studio Wildcard Dark Survival Evolved has been out for years, and they still haven't fixed the game-breaking bugs, glitches, cheats, and they haven't improved the massive grind and dead PvP. Creative Assembly. I beta tested Empire Total War AMD. We were told to be critical. The game was literally unplayable. Like the enemy simply wouldn't move ever. It was that bad. And while we were asked to help Bunt, they simply announced an expansion and failed to swat even the most basic bugs. I posted that I found that questionable on the closed part of the beta forum, and I was booted as a thank you. I refused to touch anything by them ever again. Shame, because I loved some of their stuff. Garmin Viv Fit watches. Gone through 3 of them, and they've all broke. Bethesda Fallout 76 may be forgiven eventually, but never forgotten. The PTSD from the bags sends shivers down my spine today. Bethesda, Fallout 4 had some hope. 76 just crushed everything that was left. Swiss Airlines. They basically told me to sue them in court to get a delay compensation. Jagex, I don't think I need to say any more. Amazon Marketplace. Had a decent sized gift card vanish from my account, and 3 separate customer support agents were uselessly trying to blame it on Lowe's. The gift card was for Lowe's home improvement, but purchased and fulfilled by Amazon. The purchase order and receipt still showed on my account, but the link to view download the card just disappeared one day. You'd think it would be a button or two to make it show up again, but now I guess Lowe's couldn't help either, because they had no order to reference. Pepsi, until I saw their Oilers poster. EA. I used to love their games like this snowboarding game I have, when they did EA Sports Big, but no, it's the same thing every year, overpriced. Aureus. I believe the company is called Nabisco. They use destructive palm oil, so I vow never to consume one of their products again, which is a shame, because Aureus were quite nice. Game companies. I just hope D3 is amazing, and that S6 is outstanding. The NBA first they moved the Grizzlies, then the Sonics. Imagine all the Pacific Northwest rivalries we could be enjoying today. Tom Monaghan, founder of Domino's, funds nutjob anti-choice groups. eBay. I live in rural remote area, and that fact I can get almost delivered to me is insane. Until you pay $40 for a fish tank that says dimensions 40 centimeters 40 centimeters 40 centimeters. Sees MRYVRY. I know that this sort of stuff happens all the time, but it's not like I'm gonna stop. Ford. I was a diehard fan of theirs until recently. I bought a brand new 2015 F-150 from them, and just about every 10k miles it had to go in and get some major repair done, and each time Ford would try to dispute it not being covered under their warranty. At less than 60k miles, the truck has had 2 oil pans replaced, front and rear passenger side doors replaced and painted, transmission pump replaced twice within 2 weeks, and 2 electrical problems. I absolutely love the craftsmanship of my 2012 Boss 302, but I noticed all their products from 15 up have fallen into the cheap territory. Sad to see the company fall. Blizzard. Do I really need to explain? What's wrong? You don't have a phone. Yes, not all of us live the same lives and consume the same products. I loved apples till Apple was made. The feminists and soy boys are down voting. Don't worry fellas. We just carry on stoically. Let our wallets do the talking in product purchases and relationships. Bethesda. I just want to eat canvas. Yes, I brought the power armor on. I walked into Lush one day and found them supporting anti-sealing organizations. I haven't stopped using them. My love of no packaging shampoo. Lol, but I did write a strongly worded email. Anti-sealing organizations, aren't these a good thing? I'm afraid I don't understand. Skin Fix. The brand has an eczema ointment that works wonders. It used to be available at Target and Walmart, but then one day it was just gone. Nothing from the brand was on the shelves anymore. Looked on their website and they were a branding and are now only available at Sephora and made their products smaller. My favorite ointment is now 1.3 ounces less per package and increased their prices. After this last tube I'm finding something else. Have you tried CeraVe? I use the CeraVe baby moisturizing cream that comes in a tube on my son. After like 6 other things I tried all gave him rashes. They also have moisturizing ointment similar to Aquaphor that you can use on super dry or cracked skin. It's a bit greasier than Aquaphor, but soaks in after a short time, and it has ceramides in it. Can get it on Amazon, in grocery stores, CVS, etc. I did a very long time ago, before they even had an eczema line. I will have to give them a try again. Thanks for the suggestion.